On the inside of a hospital at the ICU lies two patients. One that is a 104-year-old tortoise who lives a relatively sedentary lifestyle. On the other hand, we have a 28-year-old hare who also happens to be a marathon runner. Both of them have contracted the novel coronavirus, and both of them are battling against this viral infection. The tortoise survives, but unfortunately, the hare does not. Although we commonly fall under the assumption that those who are later in life and those who live sedentary lifestyles are more prone to passing from coronavirus, how come the hare who has no signs of an autoimmune disorder and lives a healthy lifestyle passes away? The answer may lie in epigenetics and cytokine storms. Epigenetics are heritable DNA modifications that do not involve alterations to the DNA sequence itself, but instead utilize chemical tags called epigenetic tags that affect how regions of DNA are read through gene expression. These epigenetic tags, such as acetyl or methyl groups, are added directly onto DNA or histones, a basic group of proteins around which DNA is tightly wound. The DNA then becomes tightened or loosened, and gene expression is therefore regulated. Epigenetics are also heritable, meaning they can pass from generation to generation. In this case, the tortoise may have had many family members who had autoimmune disorders, whereas the hare may have had no family history of someone ever having an autoimmune disorder. In both cases, over time and through generations, their body's epigenetic tags would have turned on and off certain genes depending on necessity for survival. In the case of COVID-19 and other respiratory diseases such as SARS and MERS, an emerging interdisciplinary study of epigenetics and disease, more specifically how a cytokine storm influences coronavirus, is gaining interest. Now, when your body contracts coronavirus, epigenetic tags open or close the body's DNA through acetylation or methylation and induce an autoimmune response. One specific inference is known as a cytokine storm. A cytokine storm is when cytokines, signaling molecules produced by your immune system, are released excessively into the bloodstream long after the virus is no longer a threat. When this happens, an exaggerated inflammatory response occurs, which can damage internal organs such as your heart, liver, lungs, kidneys, and even your body's own tissues. In the end, a cytokine storm can cause a lot more bodily harm than the actual coronavirus itself. In the case of the tortoise and the hare, it might just be because of epigenetics that influence the degree in which their body produce cytokines. Although this area of study is still novel, increased research alongside treatment and vaccinations can make COVID-19 an understandable, preventable, and treatable disease.